Oh, we're hopping in. All right, here
Yeah,
we go.
we are in.
Come on.
I will turn those sounds off shortly. Lightning bolts.
Yeah, seems like the pick.
Is what I am
What's
seeing
the
right
last
here.
card we're missing?
The last card that we are not currently looking at is a Waking Nightmare.
A Waking.
Which
I'll
would
pass that card.
that
to the
would
next
be
person.
a Waking Nightmare if we had to pick that first.
Yeah, so we're gonna slam lightning bolts.
Yep. Only other things tempting me are Nest Invader is
Yep.
really good. Thief of Hope is good.
Yep.
That Noblesse is a good card if you were red-white, but you'd have to be pretty
There's a
heavy.
high percentage we can figure out a way to play lightning bolt, and noble is
Exactly.
you're about 10% likely to
Yep.
play it. So, and it's very arguable that lightning bolt is just a better card.
I'm doing the new sick tech of trying to right-click and add to picks or add to
Fair
sideboard
enough.
so that I don't have a repeat of our
Fair
spirits pick.
So lightning bolt puts us in a couple different directions: black, red, black, red, bloodthirst, red, white equipment, which we've done once. If it's open, I guess we'll do
Yeah.
it, or it could be in some sort of like 5-color deck.
I don't even know
or-
how much equipment that deck needs.
Red,
I think just red X aggressive.
Yeah,
You can either be black, white, or
sure.
yeah. Or it's not bad in the. I also don't mind it in the like red green based multicolor deck. Okay.
Well, we have some options here, depending on which direction
Yeah.
you want to go. I'll let you
So
steer.
I think that the most on target would be either this Gouger or the Minotaur. The Gouger is, I think, actually better than the Minotaur, but it is much more constraining into what colors we can end up in. Otherwise, honestly, and then there's also the Spread the Sickness if we want to go for more red-black controlling build. And the other card I want to point out is Scatter the Seeds, because it's ridiculous.
Those are the 4 cards I would point out.
Okay.
In terms of, I don't know about power level, I guess. Removal's great. Unconditional removal's great. Scatter the Seeds is tempting because I haven't really had a chance to draft anything with it yet. But my guess would be Spread the Sickness is probably the card we should pick here.
I agree. It's good. You can, we could still be, go into the multicolor madness deck. It's not actually a madness deck, but you know what I'm saying. Well, if we're getting past the tokens deck, that is the best deck. It doesn't go with what we're doing currently, but that card is the nuts. Otherwise,
So I think it's between that and Electrolyze, actually.
yeah.
We could do like a Grixis control, which LSV had a video out earlier today. That was Grixis control and looked pretty sweet. I'll leave the pick to you. If I were picking, I would probably take Electrolyze here.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to try tokens,
let's go Electrolyte.
This would basically if we
this
pass Scion at
the
this
thing
point.
is,
This
is a pretty big signal.
Sure. And so is the Scatter, but we did also pass the Scatter already.
Right, but we can lock that down. I'm gonna grab the Scion. I think that probably in a normal set I would have taken the Electrolyze, but if there's a sign that the best deck is open, I'm gonna go for it. And then of course I'll immediately get cut off and regret that pick, but alright, so I see Blood Ogre, Gorehorn, Minotaurs.
I think that's where we're at.
What do you think is better?
I honestly don't know what's better. First Strike is decent in this set. So is a 5/5.
Yep. My inclination is the Ogre.
I realistically have no idea which one's actually better. So. And Spread does work well with any of the Bloodthirsters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And realistically, like, if we end up black-red, we aren't going to really miss that Electrolyze because we will splash for it. So
right.
So now we're looking for Fire Slingers, Lacerators.
There's a Fire Slinger right here.
And that's,
Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure that we're still getting cards. And I think Fire Slinger here is a pretty decent pickup.
Yep.
Because Cathodian would be the only other card that tempts us into this deck. But I'm not going like, oh no, there's this deck flowing by. So let's just grab
agree.
the Fire Slinger.
The Plaxcaster Frog is certainly somewhat of a signal, but somebody else in the Graph deck would probably pass that over for like a Aquastrand Spider or something like that for an earlier drop.
And
so.
I've had enough fun with the Graph deck. I do not feel pressured to grab it anymore. I don't think it's that great of a deck, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the Minotaurs here. The only other thing that would be potential is the Hobgoblin. But I haven't been seeing enough white to really, think that we should abandon to spread the sickness.
Yep. Well, and being red keeps us. We don't
Yeah.
have to play.
It's true.
We don't have to play the spread. Last week we switched to black in the middle of Pack 2, so from white. Although the spread, there's a strong incentive to stay black because if we keep picking up Bloodthirsters, spread making them all bigger is on turn 5 is amazing.
All right, this is a bit of a not good pack for us. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing Gutshot, which is a sideboard card. Evolving Wilds to make our mana better, or Sickle Ripper for just an early thing to do.
I would take Sickle Ripper here as a 2-drop.
Okay, I'm going to take Evolving Wild.
What's your reasoning?
Because I think that at this point making our mana base better is better than a 2-drop that isn't all that fantastic. I think that card's very replaceable, and there's more competition for the non-land spots than for the land spots.
Okay.
Okay. Here are some choices. This might be a sign that white's actually open. Glinthawk Idol is really good. Or we can take the Smash for the sideboard.
I would probably continue to cut red and take Smash.
Okay.
Or
I'm starting to wonder if we.
Not the worst.
Yeah, if we get a chance to hedge into white, I would be interested in doing that.
The thing about Glinthawk Idol is I do like it in white decks. I would take Lacerator here. This was our first pack in Lacerator Wheel. That's a good sign.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually come around on the Slaughtermaster pretty high. But Lacerator is great.
There were 3 picks there first. The Flare Husk.
Exactly. Yep, I would have also been happy with the Flare Husk.
I think if you're going to be the most aggressive version of the black-red deck, you just want Lacerator as the pick over the Slaughtermaster. If you want to be a little more mid-rangey with some tricks and whatnot, then here we could grab a Slaughtermaster.
Yeah, we could grab a Slaughtermaster or the Changeling isn't bad, but I think the Slaughtermaster here is pretty good.
And a Brute Force.
Happy to see a Brute Force.
Yeah, we'll take that over the Gut Shot.
Carapace just in case.
Or we could cut the Mana Leak.
I'd rather grab the...
Okay. I don't think we're going to play the Carapace.
I doubt it. But I mean, we do already have one Slaughtermaster.
Sure.
I think we hate the Strider.
Sure.
There's a nice spirits going around here. Maybe we end up with...
Throw it in the main for now, but yeah. We'd have to be super aggressive.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I mean, in terms of turn 1 or 2 answers to, if you go Lacerator or Warpaint, there's not a lot of answers to in this format. There's Vapor Snag.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I didn't realize until it was pointed out to me is there's no Death Touch.
There is no Death Touch in this set, that's right. That was one of the first things I noted in this set. Do you want to maximize the window? I think we're a little small.
Sure.
For your viewing pleasure. There's no Death Touch. So I think I might have mentioned it to you in some of our first chats. Coming from the previous format, where there's a 1/1 Death Toucher for 1. Now
we're white now.
Or
yeah, I think that's just kind of... I mean, Outcast is really good. This card is absurd.
I understand.
We already have an Evolving Wilds.
It's your deck. I drove last week. Before I think you got the Mirror Entity. I think you're locked into it. I'm not dissing the card, but it does mean a pretty big change in direction. And
honestly, though, we could be red, white, splashing black.
Sure,
we lose a Lacerator. This card, I don't know.
I know how good it is.
Okay.
I know how good it is. So I'm not disputing how good it is. Just
it's also, ironically, it's also really good with Bloodthirst because you still get the counters.
Right. Well, it does make a card like Slaughter. It makes low drops that much better though. So I mean, it probably really should make us focus on 1, 2, and 3 drops. The Minotaurs still get the counters, but you actually, well, I guess you would pay 3 and turn it into a 3/3 or a 4/4. Spike Shot Elder is absurd.
Yeah. I think
and that probably means we run at least one Carapace.
Yep.
Yeah, so Spike Shot Elder is just...
Yeah.
Someone was talking about it, and they're like, in one of Newmont's decks that he drafted, and they're like, you don't have any equipment to power it up. He's like, you don't need equipment. Spectral Procession. Okay, so now we're definitely going the white train, and we can cut the Lacerator, probably the spread to how good is Mirror Entity Spectral Procession.
That seems like I wouldn't kick that curve out of bed. Yeah, I mean, we are seeing some black, but I think the Spectral Procession is just absurd.
Yes, it's way, way, way better.
I love Dais. But we also have a Fiery Fall and a Sign in Blood.
There's no way.
We're not black. We're not black anymore.
So it'd be Apostle's Blessing, Fiery Fall, or Deus. The Deus is a decent card. This is not really a Fiery Fall deck. I mean, we're two color.
No.
It's okay.
It might be
great.
It might be worth throwing in as in case we do end up with playing the spread. I think we could maybe get a Dais later. Let's grab the fall. It also opens us up to other... I like to see this Ogre here.
Yeah, I think we take the Ogre over the Slaughtermaster.
Yeah, or the Combust for the sideboard would be the other...
Hopefully we can wheel one of those.
Yep, yeah.
Berserker.
Or Burst Lightning. That is a hard call.
In my opinion, there's no better 2-drop in the format than Stormblood Berserker.
Right.
It loses more value the longer the game goes, whereas Burst Lightning's good throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
This is really tough.
I'm glad I'm not driving, though.
Yes, you are. We only have 2 enablers right now for the Berserker. I actually think Burst Lightning's probably the correct pick.
Yeah.
Even though I hate seeing both of them in the same pack.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get another one later.
Maybe.
Get Gory up in here.
Yep.
Over our, the Dais, but...
Yeah, we want to keep on the red.
Yeah, like the only other cards I see that I consider a Coin Dais, which isn't anywhere close, and Brute Force, which also isn't anywhere close.
One other thing, people...
Sorry.
No. I'm going to talk about the Spectral Procession for a second. I think it's easy to look at that card and think it costs 3 white, but in our deck, playing 1 white and 4 colorless on turn 5 for it is a-okay because it probably is a-okay, I should say. Especially if we have something like Mirror Entity out or Brute Force, that can be the last bit of damage that we need. So, the odds are with as much red as we have, the best case scenario for us is a turn 4 Spectral Procession, paying white 2, and on turn 5 for white and 2 colorless, it's just fine.
So I feel like we've managed to cut red pretty well.
Yeah.
Another Fire Slinger?
Slinger, yep. And I really like Slinger as a card, too. Unlike other goblins, so Garrison...
I like the Garrison here.
I like the Garrison over the Brute Force.
Still here.
Yeah, but I mean, we really haven't seen that token.
No, we haven't. We've been seeing the top. We've been seeing the rewards for it, but not the.
If we had taken that second pick, Scatter the Seeds into Scion, we would be in a very mediocre. Maybe the Otherworldly Journey. At the beginning of the next episode.
I think I'd rather.
We're never going to pay that double white. I think that's too risky of a card for us to run.
I think that we could get fixing to do it. I just don't see us running the. I guess against a mono removal deck.
I understand that the Skirmisher is a nice card and it's pretty good, but the double white is real. We could have 1 white until turn 9.
No, I certainly wouldn't be playing it with this mana base, but if we picked up another Boros Garrison, I would consider it.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think that either one of these is very likely to get it in, and you're probably right that this one is the more likely card to get in. The other one is, I think, a better enough card. We do have this Fiery Fall too for adding additional white sources, but do you want to make the artifact deck really sad, or do you want another 2-drop? I think
18 playables, 16. Probably a second smash.
Okay, that's where I was feeling pretty
maybe
strongly.
Even 1 main deck, but I'm not.
Yeah,
we'll see where we end up on playables. We would need to pick up 7 cards in the next pack, and considering how much red we've gotten, then we'd probably pick up at least 5 red cards.
Yeah, although we are counting Warpaint is playable. And although honestly with Spike Shot Elder, too bad we didn't. Maybe, yeah. Never mind. I was gonna say we could pick up one of the blessings that give protection, but I'm like picking up a mediocre card to let you run another mediocre card. Well, here we go. I was gonna grab it anyways because there's not really anything.
Yeah,
else
like
here.
a single Apostle's Blessing is just fine.
Yeah. It can be paid for 1 colorless and 2 life is just.
By the way, I was trying to think of a new title, and we are. I call this deck Bucky Badger Boros.
Sure.
Red, white, Badger colors.
Yeah.
All things Wisconsin.
Yep.
Serial killers. Do we have any serial killers in this deck? We have their corpse.
Yeah.
Their corpses.
I mean, no.
Fire Slinger.
Lightning Bolt is a serial killer.
Yeah. We have their ghostly remnants in the Spectral Procession. Wrapped in Flames.
Yeah, sure.
It's a fine sideboard card.
I'd rather play that
Could
than
actually
the
be
Warpaint.
main deck.
Yeah.
It's in the deck. It's in here for a reason. First, it crushes the token deck.
Yep.
And if we need to push damage through, it's great.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I think it's probably starting right now. Think a Comet Storm
Yeah, I'd take that.
or a Karn.
Sure.
Value Karn.
I have not opened a. I've been spamming this queue pretty hard, and I have not opened a Karn yet. Karn is one of my favorites. We have some not terrible removal. Like, we have problems with big stuff, so I wouldn't mind like an Arrest or something.
Sure. We have 2 burn spells, so 1 more burst light. Last week we had double burst and a lightning bolt, so it could be on that same package.
No respect for the Affinity deck. That card went down in value between between the 2 Modern Masters. Like, that would be like a slam.
Cryptic, we're taking.
Okay.
That's got to be.
Yeah.
I'll double check, but that's got to be 10 tickets or more.
Wow, this Waking Nightmare just loves to be hiding underneath the fold.
Yeah, it's 8 or 9 tickets.
Okay.
So yeah, we're drafting. Sorry, folks. It's not a foil, is it? No.
Just looks shiny.
Was there anything else for us?
Nope.
Oh.
There was Involving Wilds. It was like, I mean, you can see it right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, there
Yeah.
it goes. Yeah, Cryptic Command, $8 card, pays for a pack. We'll move on with our lives.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Another Fire Slinger.
I think we take the 3rd Fire Slinger over the first Flare Husk, but I think then we'd go Flare Husk
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. We do have. We don't have an absurd amount of guys to turn on, but Bloodthirst.
Yeah, the bats were never there really.
No.
For the black, because that could have really solidified us into
Yep.
the black if
Yeah.
we had done that.
There was that Vampire was the only black thing that
Yeah.
was really sad to pass.
And we took
but
it over. We took the Mirror Entity, which is an absurd card for absurd people.
It's true. How good is Mirror Entity with that Berserker we passed?
Yeah.
Because an X+2, they can only be blocked by 2 creatures. Anyways. No use, spilled milk,
So what do we
etc.
want here? We want some dudes, probably. We have 10
Sure.
creatures.
I'd take another Blood Ogre. Well, yeah, 11 if you count Procession as a...
Yeah.
We want to fight the Affinity deck. So Tribal Flames is pretty much a shock for us.
Yep.
Sickle Slicer is...
Yeah, I actually overlooked the Sickle Slicer. That's probably the pick for us because it's going to make any of our dudes bigger.
Yep.
It works well with Spike Shot Elder.
Yep, great with Procession if a little bit
Yep.
expensive. Burst Lightning or Minotaur?
Burst Lightning.
Or Boros Swiftblade.
I think we try to wheel the Swiftblade.
Sure.
Probably won't get the Minotaurs, but hopefully the Swiftblade comes back. I think we want the extra Burst Lightning.
Otherwise, we do have 1 Goblin Warpaint if we want. Daybreak Coronet get there. Well, we're at 22 scare quotes playable.
I don't think it'll make it back to us because it's worth at least a ticket or two, and someone will take it. But yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Could be fun if we make it to like our last round or something like that.
If we're in the sadness bracket.
Yeah.
What is a Savage Twister doing
wait,
here?
Wait. Sunforger.
Oh, this card is...
Did you not see that?
This card is not good.
But isn't that... I'm not, like... One, what would we pick over it? And two, it does let us go... How much does it cost to equip?
3.
I mean, like, it's good with Slaughtermaster. Double... We have one Slaughtermaster.
I mean, I guess it's that or trying to... we can't... I would just be hating a Savage Twister, probably. I mean, it is great with Spike Shot Elder.
Would you run Sunforger over Carapace? Copper Carapace?
No. I mean, I'd run it over Goblin Warpaint. Let's grab it.
I think we play it.
Sure, it's
or at least grab it versus anything else.
I'm happy to see that. Yeah, it's
good. I mean, it gets for 2 mana. It lets us like Fiery Fall.
No, well, for 5 mana, it lets us Fiery Fall, and it says mana 4 or less, so it doesn't let us do that.
Oh, it doesn't let us Fiery Fall. Okay.
Igniter's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
Can we get rid of the paint? Oh.
Yep.
I have a feeling we're not going to run into the Affinity deck.
So yeah, I mean, Sunforger's expensive. I get it.
It's an okay late game plan. I could see it causing us some sadness if it just sits in our deck, or if it sits in our hand. But I mean, you know, decks need reach, and we don't have a ton of it, so. Well,
is a 2/2 first strike good enough on its own?
Yeah,
I think we don't want. I don't think we'd ever play 2 Apostles' Blessings.
Maybe a second gut shot just in case we run up against some weird deck. I don't know what that would look like though. A deck where we want 2 gut shots against it. I guess I don't think we're playing any of the cards we're grabbing right now.
All right, pick whatever you want.
I'm gonna grab a sideboard card then,
okay.
Which will be the Apostle's Blessing in case we run up against a crap ton of removal. Hate the Baku.
Yeah.
I think that these were some disappointing packs for us. Like, I don't think we got cut, but like there were just some.
We got late burst lightnings going both ways.
Yeah.
So we were in red. It's just we kind of have a consistent, if not exciting deck.
Tidal Flames is okay, I think. It's
yeah,
a shot.
It's also really good against us if someone's in the 5-color deck and they get it late.
Sure. Ooh,
wow.
Swift.
Swift played. We absolutely wanted 2-drop. And the Minotaur's wheeled. So we were in the right deck.
Yeah, no, I think we were. But like you saw those packs that went by. There was like, if you're in the Graph deck, here's all the cards that you want.
Vapor Snake, I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I do like having a Kite Sail against.
You and your Kite Sails.
No, against the token deck. I think having 1 Kite Sail is good because otherwise you end up with these Sadness Minotaurs eating 1 Thal at a turn.
All right, so here's what we got.
Yeah,
It's really not bad.
Not bad, no.
I think the Swiftblade was actually a really good pickup.
Yeah. Okay, get out of here.
So I want to lose 1. So now we're at 25. With the Garrison, we're probably a 16-land deck, and the fact that most we have really only 5s because the Fiery Fall we can.
Okay, so these are things I'm thinking about axing.
Fiery Fall we can basic land cycle if we keep it. So that means we only have.
I would like to keep the Fiery Fall.
Okay.
I think that lets us be a lot more aggressive on how many mountains we play. So these are the cards that we're talking about cutting. Are there any other things you'd like to talk about cutting?
I don't think so.
We can talk about cutting this, I suppose.
We can talk about cutting that.
How many do we need to cut? We need
1.
to cut 1? Oh, okay.
We got 2 lands.
Okay. So I would like to hold on to the Fiery Fall. It sounds like you want to hold on to the Sunforger.
We can discuss the Sunforger. Yeah. I just think I do think that we have 2 double strikers. We have a go back.
Yeah.
And we've got the what's the other goblin? Spike Shot Elder.
Yeah. So it's absurd with this guy.
Very good with the double strikers.
Very good with the double striker.
And there is, a value play of like equip it and then unequip it for a bolt or burst lightning. Like it's not.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I think if we had more stuff up here, I'd be more concerned about keeping it. But we don't have a whole ton of stuff. Like I wouldn't want to have 2 big cards stuck in my hand, basically.
Sure. Actually, so one other thing I'm going to do is just jot down what our targets are for Sunforger, so that in mid-combat, if we need to save a creature... I mean, there could be times where we're getting...
Should we kill the Carapace, or is that good enough for the similar reasons? We do have a Sickle Slicer and a Sunforger.
I'm concerned the 3rd equipment is too much.
Yeah.
Actually, that would probably be the card I cut. And I actually think Rapid Flames can be really good in this deck. Like, if we get a Minotaur and an Ogre, and they just have Eldrazi spawn in the way, and we just punch through for the last damage, like, that's 8.
I really like having one Apostle's Blessing.
And I like one Apostle's Blessing.
Okay.
So I think that's what I would go with. And we've actually have some pretty good sideboard options, too.
Yeah, we sure do. Yeah, we really do. Alright. Now, for mana base... I think we do keep the Evolving Wilds here. I know it's a little bit awkward with such an aggressive curve with so many 1-drops, but I think that we have at least a red is pretty important. So this would be 5 ways of getting white. Because we do have some white that we want to hit pretty early.
The Boros, Swiftblade, the Mirror Entity, I don't think you have to hit early.
No, but
the Swiftblade is the one we want to hit early. I would probably run 10 Mountain, 4 Plains. That's what I would run, because you really have 2 more red sources. So you have Boros, Garrison, and Evolving Wilds.
1 extra white.
And Fiery Fall can get either as well. So you really have 13 red sources and 1, 2, 6, 7 white sources. Yeah. That seems good, because if we get an early...
Yeah,
Spectral Procession is in our opener, and we have a Plains and a way to get a second one like that.
Kerblamo. What is that? What? Sometimes this means that we have a card that we don't actually have a card that we think we had. So
what does that mean?
Where it basically you submitted a deck and the list that it thought you had isn't the same as the list that you thought you had. Is what I've had happen in the past. But does everything look?
Try it again. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you highlight Sunforger one more time? Unattach a instant card. Okay, and that means we have Brute Force, 2 Burst Lightnings, Lightning Bolt, Apostle's Blessing, which is not a bad set of targets. Most of the time, it's just going to be a +4/+0.
Right, yeah, because this is sorcery.
That's sorcery. But
that's okay.
That's 4 things you can do with it for two mana.
I think that if we're against something like really removal heavy or something, we can talk about sideboarding
I'm not,
out. But
Yep. And like I said, I am not like Sunforger, Slam Dunk in the deck, but I do think it has enough value, and it's good enough on its own with some of our if we even a 6/2 first striker is
a pain in the butt. Yeah, no, I think sometimes it's a trap to undervalue cards that people overvalue because you want to feel like the smart guy in the room.
I think bad players overvalue it. I think we're valuing it correctly. It's a card that works well with some things in our deck. It's probably like somewhere between our 17th and 18th best card, maybe even lower than that. Like Rapid Flames is probably like in our 20 to 24.
I love our hate for the Spirits deck. We just
it was going around.
Because
I saw some other thieves too.
Yeah,
I didn't see any. Oh, there was a Long Forgotten Gohi down around too.
Yep, I saw that. That was in our. It was in the same pack as the Spectral Procession. Oop! Don't power off.
Dear Lord, what are you doing?
The lasers. Pew pew. All right.
So our goal here is to get like turn 1, probably Fire Slinger. Well, even or turn 2. And really, we want to be playing our Blood Ogres and Minotaurs.
Yep. I think that this deck is a little bit more mid-rangey than its curve looks like.
Yep, I agree. It's more of a mid-range deck. It wants to get to Blood Ogres and Minotaurs. It has some tricky stuff with like the equipment and the double strikers.
Well, and one thing I like about this deck is that like these things are. It's not that hard to deal with these things once in this set, but if they're consistently playing 5/5s, that's problematic. Like even for the like the 5-color deck, what are they gonna do?
Yep.
Like.
No, it seems good enough. The mirror entity is so good too. Like like if we can go 1-drop, 2-drop mirror entity.
Well, especially since both of our 2-drops have double strike.
But I mean, attacking with fire slingers when they're 1/1s that you can pump to 4/4 is really awesome.
Or even like pumping, like if you have 6 mana, pumping this to a 3/3 and then lightning bolting somebody for 6 mana repeatedly. That's acceptable. It's not hugely mana efficient, but that's hard to lose when you're doing that. He said, daring fate to strike him down.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, see, I think that one thing that we did well about this with building this deck is we didn't fall into the archetype obsession. Like we aren't like red-white supports equipment the best. But we didn't. I don't think we jeopardized picks by being like, well, that's what this deck wants to do. Like I think we got good things out of it.
It'd be interesting to go back and watch this draft because it looked like all the decks were pretty scattered and like you would see remnants of parts of the decks, but there was nothing. There's nothing beyond red that was wide open to us, and I actually like red in this format. So
yeah, I think
we've been red a lot.
The affinity deck was definitely flowing.
But everyone seems to not want to be in that deck. I don't know if it's just there's too much hate for it or it's not powerful enough. But it definitely seems like any draft you really want to be in it, you can try to get into it.
It's very draw dependent is my problem with it. And I think that, as is typical in the life cycle of Limited, is that a lot of the times aggressive decks kind of fall out of favor as people figure out how to pilot some of the more complicated strategies. Yeah. I mean, so I'm wondering if that kind of... But I think there's still good affinity decks.
There probably is one that... well, I mean, there certainly is. They play tested that it would be out there. Mm-hmm. I do think you actually want to be really close to 1-color affinity too instead of 2-color.
And I think that color is white.
I agree. Yeah. I think you really want to be close to mono white, if not mono white, and have 1 or 2 Mirrorsmith and a couple of Darksteel Citadels to power. Yeah, you want a cranial plating.
I think Darksteel Citadel is like the key card for that.
And I think you want Frogmite's okay. You really want the Mirror Enforcers though, because what you want to do is have like the. Mm-hmm. I think what you really want to do is have like Darksteel Citadel. Get your Mirrorsmith going to get a couple mirror out, and then you're playing like turn 4 and 5 Mirror Enforcers, as opposed to sort of your